Hi friend, now discuss Panchayati Raj. The term Panchayati Raj in India signifies the system of rural local self-government, and it is established in all the states of India by acts of the state legislature to build democracy. And it interested with rural development. It was constitutionalized through the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. How to evolve? How to evolution it is. Okay, now we discuss evolution of Panchayati Raj. First, Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. January 1957, the government appointed a committee, the working of the Constituent Community Development Program. Development Program 1952, and the National Extension Service 1953, and the suggested measures. Okay, the chairman of the committee was Balwant Rai Mehta Ji Mehta. The committee submitted its report in November 1957 and recommended the establishment of the scheme of democratic decentralization, which ultimately known as Panchayati Raj. The specific recommendation made by it are establishment of a three-tier Panchayati Raj system: Gram Panchayat at the village level, Panchayat Samiti at the block level, and Jila Parishad at the district level. So the tiers should be organically linked through the device of elections. The village panchayat should be considered the directly elected representatives, whereas the Panchayat Samiti and Jila Parishad should be constituted with indirectly elected members. So village panchayat should be constituted with directly elected representatives, whereas Panchayat Samiti and Jila Parishad should be constituted with indirectly elected members. Planning and development, all planning and development activities interested of these bodies, the Panchayat Samiti and the executive body, and the Jila Parishad should be advisory, coordinating and supervisory body. The district collector should be chairman of the Jila Parishad. There should be a genuine transfer of powers and responsibility. Okay, adequate resources should be transferred to these bodies to discharge their functions and fulfill their responsibilities. A system should be evolved to effect further devolution of authority in future. These recommendations of the committee were accepted by the National Development Council in January 1958. The council did not insist on a single rigid pattern and left it to the states to evolve their own pattern suitable to local conditions. Rajasthan, the first state to establish Panchayati Raj system, and it is inaugurated by the Prime Minister on 2nd October 1959 in Nagar district. Rajasthan was followed by Andhra Pradesh, which also adopted the system in 1959. Though most of the states created Panchayati Raj institution by mid-1960, there were differences from one state to another with regard to number of tiers, relative positions of Samiti and for itself, their tenure, composition, function, finance, and so on. For example, Rajasthan adopted the three-tier functions, three-tier systems, and Tamil Nadu adopted two-tier, and West Bengal adopted on the other hand, adopted four-tier system. Further, in the Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh pattern, Panchayat Samiti are powerful as the block was the anthill of planning and development, while the Maharashtra Gujarat pattern, Jila Parishad was powerful. Okay, so here important things is Maharashtra Gujarat Jila Parishad is very powerful, and Rajasthan Andhra Pradesh Panchayat Samiti. Okay. The district was unit of planning and development. Some of the establishment of Naya Panchayats, that is the judicial panchayats, to try petty civil and criminal cases. Next, study teams and committees. 1960, many study teams, studies working groups have been appointed to examine the various aspects of functioning of the Panchayati Raj system. So 1960 committee of rationalization of Panchayat system, that will be Abhiyar Rao, 61 working group of Panchayat and cooperative administration. You can see all the things. Okay, 1976 Committee on Community Development and Panchayat Raj, Srimati Daya Chobe. Okay, 1972 working group of the formation of the 5-year plan. Okay, here you can see all the things. Okay, Ashok Mehta Committee. In December 1977, the Janata government appointed a committee on Panchayati Raj institution under the chairman of Ashok Mehta. It submitted its report August 1978 and made 132 recommendations to revive and strengthen the declining Panchayati Raj system on the country. The main recommendations are the two-tier system of Panchayati Raj should be replaced by the two-tier system. That is the Jila Parishad at the district level, and below it the Mandal Panchayat. A district should be the first point for decentralization. Jila Parishad should be the executive body. There should be an official participation of political parties. The Panchayati Raj institution should be held have compulsory powers of taxation to mobilize their own financial resources. There should be a regular social audit by a district level agency and by a committee of legislature to check whether the funds allocated for the vulnerable social and economic groups are actually spent on them. The state government should not supersede the Panchayati Raj institution. The Naya Panchayats should be kept as separate bodies from that of the development panchayats. The chief electoral officer of a state, in consultation with the chief election commissioner, should organize and conduct the Panchayati Raj elections. Development functions should be transferred to the Jila Parishad, and all development staff should work under the control and supervision. The voluntary agencies should play important roles in mobilizing the support of the people of Panchayati Raj. The Minister for Panchayati Raj should be appointed by the State Council or Minister to take after the affairs of the Panchayati Raj institution. Seats for SC/ST should be reserved on the basis of their population. A constitutional recognition should be accorded to the Parliament, to the Panchayati Raj institution. This should be given them the requisite status, sanctity and stature and an assurance of continuous functioning due to collapse of the Janata government before its completion of its term, for no action could be taken on the recommendation of the Ashok Mehta Committee at the central level. However, the three states of Karnataka, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh took steps to revitalize the Panchayati Raj, keeping in view some of the recommendations of the Ashok Mehta Committee. Now, the JP Rao Committee. The committee reviewed the existing administrative arrangements for rural development and poverty alleviation programs. Under the chairman of JP Rao, as appointed by the Planning Commission in 1995. So here a diverse force from Panchayati Raj is development process. Okay, so you see the phenomena of the bureaucratization of development administration as against the democratization weakened Panchayati Raj institution, resulting in which is aptly called the grass without roots. Hence the committee made the following recommendation to strengthen and revitalize the Panchayati Raj system. The district local body, that is the Jila Parishad, should be of pivotal importance in the scheme of the democratic decentralization. It stated that the district is a proper unit for planning and development, and the Jila Parishad should become the principal body for management of all development programs. Okay, so can be handled at that level. The Panchayati Raj ACT is JP Rao Committee. Okay. The Panchayati Raj institution at the district and the lower level should be assigned an important role as respect to planning, implementation of the monitoring and rural development programs. Some of the planning functions at the state level should be transferred to the district level planning. Rapidly decentralized district planning. A post of district level district development commissioner should be created. He should be act as a chief executive officer of the Jila Parishad. Election to the Panchayati Raj institution should be held regularly. It found that the elections became overdue for one or more tiers in 11 states. The committee in its scheme of decentralized system and failed administration assigned a leading role of the Panchayati Raj in local planning and development. So here it is in this respect that the recommendation of the UPK Rao Committee report 1986 differed from those of the Dantwala Committee report on block level planning 1978 and the Hanumant Rao Committee report district plan 1994 and the Hanumant Rao Committee report district plan 1984. Both the committees have suggested that the basic decentralized planning function. The Hanumant Rao Committee advocated separate district planning bodies under either the district collector or a minister. In both the models, the collector should play a significant role. The committee stated that Panchayati Raj institution would also be associated with the process decentralized planning. The committee recommended that the collector should be coordinator at the district level of all development and planning activities. Thus, the Hanumant Rao Committee differed in the respect of this Balwant Rao Mehta Committee, the Administrative Reforms Commission of India. The Ashok Mehta Committee, finally, the JPK Rao Committee, which recommended reduction in the development role in the district collector, and which assigned a major role in the Panchayati Raj institution, Panchayati Raj in development and administration. LM Singhvi Committee, the 1996 the Rajiv Gandhi government reformed a committee to prepare a concept of paper on revitalization of Panchayati Raj institution for democracy and development. Chairman of LM Singhvi, it made the following recommendation. Okay, so Panchayati Raj institutions should be constitutionally recognized, protected and preserved. For this purpose, new chapters should be added in the Constitution of India. This will make their identity and integrity reasonably and substantially inviolate. So it suggested constitutional provisions to ensure regulate free and fair election to the Panchayati Raj bodies. New Panchayat should be established for a cluster village. The village should be reorganized to make Gram Panchayat more viable. It also emphasizes the importance of the Gram Sabha and is called it as the embodiment of direct democracy. The village panchayat should have more financial resources. The judicial tribunals should be established in each state to adjudicate controversies. Thangan Committee, the 1988, the subcommittee of the Consultative Committee for Parliament was constituted under the chairmanship of P.K. Thangan to examine the political and administrative structure in the district for the purpose of the district planning. The committee suggested for strengthening the Panchayati Raj system. It made the following recommendation. The Panchayati Raj body should be constitutionally recognized. The three-type system of Panchayati Raj with panchayats at the village and block and district levels. Jila Parishad should be the pivot of the Panchayati Raj system. It should act as a planning and development agency in the district. The Panchayati Raj body should be the fixed tenure of 5 years. The maximum period of supersession of a body should be 6 months. The planning and coordination committee should be set up at the state level under the chairmanship of the minister for planning. The presidents of Jila Parishad should be its member. A detailed list of subjects of Panchayati Raj should be prepared and incorporated in the constitution. Reservation of seats in all three tiers should be on the basis of the population. There should also be reserved for women. A state finance commission should be set up in each state. Okay, it would lay down the criteria and guidelines for the devolution of finance to the Panchayati Raj institution. The district collector should be the chief executive officer of the Jilla Parishad. Medical Committee. The committee policy and the Committee on Policy and Programs was constituted in 1988. Okay, by the Congress Party under the chairmanship of P-1 Gadgil. The committee was asked to consider the question how waste for Panchayati Raj institution would be made effective. So here following recommendation. A constitutional status should be bestowed of the Panchayati Raj institution. A three-tier system of Panchayati Raj with farm panchayats and at the village and block and district level. The term Panchayati Raj institution should be fixed at 5 years. The members of the panchayat at all the three levels, they should be directly elected. Reservation of SC, ST and women. The panchayat should be so Panchayati Raj bodies should be respectively of preparation and implementation of plans and sustainable development. For this purpose, and the list of subjects should be specified in the constitution. The Panchayati Raj bodies should be empowered to levy, collect the appropriate taxes and duties. Establishment of a state finance commission, allocation of the finance of the panchayats, finance to the panchayats, and here is establishment of state election commission for the conduction of election of the panchayats. Okay, the above recommendation of the Gadgil committee become the basis. Gadgil committee became the basis for drafting amendments bill aimed at conferring and constitutional status and protection to the Panchayati Raj institution. So here you can discuss constitutionalism, Rajiv Gandhi government, VP Singh government, and Narasimha Rao government. So next we discuss. So thank you friends. I think it will help to you.